Hello Gens Ace fans, Skylipo fans, fans of hobby parts in general. This is Shane, and thought I'd throw a little slideshow together for you. This is kind of how my day went. Didn't go very good, but had a few interesting pictures, so I thought I'd share them with you guys in the form of a slideshow. So to start with, we're looking at my Rustler here. Used to be a VXL, it's not anymore. It is still electric, but I don't use the VXL electronics. Not terribly opposed to them, but I'm not a huge fan. At any rate, those of you that have seen my other pictures and videos and stuff know that I use my Rustler for two purposes. One is off-roading, which is what it's set up for right now. The other is high-speed runs. Now I don't go as drastic as the current fad of sticking the Castle 2200 kV motor in the back of this thing and making it do 114 mile an hour. I don't do that. My current goal with my speed run setup that I have is just simply to see how fast I can make a Rustler go on a 1/10 scale motor. And I'm still pretty early into the stages of that, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail there. I'm working on another video of all that where I'll get into more detail and maybe and show several different stages of running with various gears and tires and the different stuff that I tried. At any rate, this here is my off-road setup. Even though I am using my modified speed run body. The rims, my off-road rims and stuff match it, so I just figured I'd leave it on there. At any rate, you'll notice that I do use Gens Ace batteries in my electrics. It's the only brand I've ever used. Actually, I've never owned another brand, well, unless you count the ones for my Fly Sky. I did do a mod to my Fly Sky, and the only reason I don't have Gens Ace for that is just simply because they don't make them in the proper size. So those are just cheap Chinese ones. They suck big time in comparison, but they're plenty good enough to do the mod for that. At any rate, if you notice on the side, I'm sure you'll see the big white strip that's actually reflective tape, and you can't really see it here, but you'll see it in the next picture. It's really cool because any kind of light source hits it, it shows up really brightly, which is good if I'm at the track late and I have to flip the lights on. It does make it easier to see, and when I'm doing speed runs and sometimes it gets really far away from me, and it makes it a little easier to spot. And I am sporting a hobby parts sticker on the side of that tape, just because I do have several hobby parts products in this thing, which I'll show you later. And in this picture you can see, with the flash on, you can see how the reflected tape shows up really brightly. Helps me to see the truck. I've got a strip on the top too. Helps me to see the truck better when I'm doing speed runs with it. The off-roading, it doesn't matter too much, but it looks kind of cool anyway. And this is just an overhead shot of my Rustler with my speed run body on it. I don't use those tires for speed run. Obviously, I'm getting ready to go off-roading here, but you can tell where I've made vents all along the top and the back of the body to let air pass through it. Otherwise, it comes off the ground at about 55 mile an hour. And here's a little sneak peek under the hood. I am using a Hobby Wing Easy Run SC8 120 amp ESC, as you can see there, which I believe is technically a 1/8 scale ESC. And I said when I first started out on my speedrun project, I said I wasn't going to use 1/10 scale electronics. I originally started out with a Sidewinder SCT ESC and a Castle 4-pole 3800 kV motor. As it turns out, the Castle ESC sucked, and you know, I had that hobby part one laying around, and I figured, you know, why not? Not really too concerned about it being 1/8 scale, because it can really be used in either 1/10 scale or 1/8 scale applications. The main thing that I want to stick with is the 1/10 scale motor. That way I don't, you know, have to heavily modify this thing to either go fast or, you know, tone it back for off-road. And as you can see, I've currently got a 3-cell Gen A LiPo battery in there, and you can see my Fly Sky controller there in the background. And if you look real close under the wires there, you can actually see one of Hobby Parts' gyro stabilizers too. I disable that for when I'm running on the track, but for doing speed runs, it's pretty much a must. Okay, this picture here, first bummer of the day. Went to my normal bash spot with my Rusty to do some off-roading, and wasn't there but literally about 30 seconds, maybe 60, before I broke a what did I break? Oh, a drive shaft. Broke a drive shaft, or an axle rather, not a drive shaft, but an axle. Broken axle. So I was kind of bummed out. Didn't have anything else with me, so it was kind of a big wasted trip. Ended up going back home, fixing it, and decided to head out to the track and take my Rusty and a couple of my nitros out there, and I figured maybe I'd have some better luck out there. So I went home, fixed it, headed for the track. And this is just a picture of my local track. Me and there was only one other guy there at the time. He was running a Hot Bodies V8E, I believe it was, and I got my Rusty running there. And this is just a picture of me standing at the corner of the track. I was practicing on the double in the middle, getting my car really muddy. And this is just a picture of the other guy's Hot Bodies buggy catching a little air there. And here we are standing on top of the driver's stand, just doing laps. Here I am checking out my car. It was giving me a little bit of problem. It wasn't driving stable, and at first I thought it was the gyro messing with me, so I was actually unhooking the gyro and just plugging the servo straight into the receiver. As it turns out, you'll see later that that wasn't the problem. And again, just me on the driver's stand. The other guy had taken off at that point, I think, and I was just bashing, really. Had the place to myself. And here was my Rusty covered in mud. It's gonna be a mess to clean up. And here we can see why I was having problems driving stably. Turns out it wasn't the gyro, but the CA glue I used sucks. As you can tell, as you can see in this picture, the tire has almost completely come off the rim on the front, and with just a very little prying, I was able to actually remove the rim entirely from the wheel. So this is actually the second time it's happened with that CA glue and the same set of tires and rims. So I don't think I'll be using that particular glue again. I'll probably just go back to using super glue. It's the best thing I've found for gluing tires. I thought I'd get fancy and use this special CA glue that one of the local hobby stores apparently makes. It has their name on it or whatever, and yeah, it sucks. Wouldn't recommend it to anybody. And last but not least, this is the picture of my Offroad MBX 9.5 with the dual tank, the dual fuel tank mod that I did on it. As you can tell, I've done a lot of other hop-ups, a lot of blue aluminum. It's kind of a shelf queen because it's an older model. It's discontinued, but it still runs so good. I still take it out every once in a while, even though I kind of hate to, because, like I said, I did kind of do it up as a shelf queen since it's semi-retired. But every once in a while, I like to pull it out and, knock the dust off of it and get it muddy. And that wraps it up. I hope you guys weren't too bored, and I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.